guys, Anna here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. If you are new here, my name is Anna and I like to build in The Sims 4. And I post speed build videos every Tuesday and Thursday here on the channel. And yeah, we just have a really fun time. And today's video, we are building a 3x2 family home in the world of Willow Creek. So as I mentioned on Tuesday's video, this particular week we are in the base game world, so we did a build in Oasis Springs. We're in Willow Creek today, and this is a family build. Last week we mentioned that 3 of the builds this month are in a semi kind of Victorian style. One is a classical Victorian home, which will be seen next week. That is a lovely build. But the other, you had the Gothic house, and then you have this house, which kind of has, the exterior of the build does look a little bit Victorian, and we use the Strangerville windows for this build, and I think that's what gives it that kind of vibe. But the actual layout of this home, the inside, how it's decorated, is very much just a traditional family home that you would see in Willow Creek. So that's why I kind of feel like it's more like a New Orleans styled home, and it does really fit in this world, and I really enjoy this world. So this particular build, I did decorate, I did decorate it, yes. I designed the floor plan on grid paper. This is something that I like to do in my spare time. It just obviously to then create something and then to translate it into The Sims. It's like my favorite thing to do. It did make the roofing a little bit more tricky on this particular build. As I said, I was very confident with the interior, so I kind of just guess with the exterior. That's kind of really what I do, and I just play around with it until it somehow resembles a nice looking house. So yeah, that's what we've done with this build, and I really like it. So it's 2 stories. You walk in, you have a little entryway, and you have a bathroom that you can access from that entryway, and that is the downstairs bathroom. You then walk through a main hallway that leads you off to 2 areas. It leads you off to a large open living room, which has access to the backyard of the property, and then you have that kitchen and dining, which we saw in the beginning that I was starting to decorate. When I was starting to build this particular build, the kitchen clutter kit had just come out, so I have used quite a lot of it in this particular build. Not only does it really fit this build kind of thematically, with it being just a traditional family home, it was new DLC at the time, so I wanted to use it. Alright, so that goes to show you just how old some of my builds are, but as I said, I have quite a backlog of builds at the moment, especially because I am preparing to have a couple of weeks off for my wedding. So I'm just trying to get as much done as I can. And yeah, so this is the main exterior of the build, is the main structure. We've gone in with the growing together spandrels and columns with a basic base game fence. There is a little bit of base game in this build just because sometimes base game does the job, just is what it is. We have gone in with a base game flooring. I really love this kind of hardwood flooring. It's kind of my go-to. We've used that pathing from Businesses and Hobbies. I really like this pathing. Sometimes I find the swatches are a little hard to use, so I was really glad I could use that. All right, we are upstairs, and I've just done the floor plan for the bedrooms. So we have a master bedroom and 2 other bedrooms plus a large bathroom upstairs. And I'm trying to remember the kids' rooms and who's who. I think it is potentially a child and maybe maybe it's 2 children Sims plus a master. Could be, but yeah. All right, as I mentioned, so that little entryway, you have a door to the bathroom there. You also use these beautiful arches from Growing Together that kind of form a central hallway to the house, which has the door to the outside plus the staircase for the upstairs. I just love this layout. I think it's beautiful. I think it's really functional. Everything's really close together. This was definitely one where I really enjoyed the floor plan. The exterior was a little bit, I like it. It comes together in the end. It's definitely a trust the process. And I think that the assets I used, so these are from Get Famous, these like taller windows that we use on the ground floor. And then we pair them with these Strangerville type windows. So it does have like it has a semi kind of Victorian feel to it. And then we end up going with a plain white sliding that I believe comes with Growing Together. And it's just beautiful. It actually kind of gives me like a colonial style vibe as well. This could have also been a perfect blue suburban. In a way, I could have gone with that, but I do decide to keep the build white. I haven't done the wallpaper yet, but that's essentially what I will be doing. I'm just mapping out the landscaping, going in with fencing. I sometimes like to do my fencing relatively early just so I can like gauge how big I want the exterior space to be. It helps me with landscaping, as landscaping is not my forte. It's not my favorite thing. I just like to have spaces that are functional, and sometimes, and like landscaping looks pretty and all, but you know, it's not in gameplay, that's not really going to do much for the sim. So yeah, I just figured that I'll put in a little bit. All right, we use the hopscotch asset that's from For Rent. I love this swing set, and it makes me so sad that it is part of a bonus content which we got with Growing Together, but I really love it, and it pairs so well with this particular build. I've put in a pool because we had the space for it, and I believe we're just doing like the standard backyard that I would do, so it would have like a seating area and a grill. What else? I put some planter plots just to put in a bit more skill building. Yeah, I really need to like look into how I can make my backyards a little bit more exciting. I feel like if you're someone who has watched a lot of my content, you are very familiar with this kind of exterior. I do it all the time. It's my go-to. And I think that's because I don't really utilize the backyard a lot when I play in my games, which is so silly. It's so silly that sometimes like your personality definitely rubs off on your Sims, and I am such a homebody that I think my Sims become homebodies, and I want them to get out more. All right, so you've gone in with that white sliding like I mentioned, and I really liked these. I don't know what they're called. They're like faux balconies pieces. So these came from Lovestruck, and I really liked them. They weren't big and bulky, but they gave a little bit of, you know, a little bit of appeal to the front. Speaking about appeal to the front, I love these get-together kind of wall plants. I love them. Those kind of, I don't know what they're called. Why is it? I don't know what they're called. They're like, anyway, I think that's really pretty, and the base game plant flower plots that are by the windows, it just elevates the front of this build. We've gone in with a classic white wallpaper, and I'm just putting the wallpaper in the children's rooms. So we have gone in with a girly kind of floral wallpaper, so I'm presuming there is a female sim, and I think this is a male child sim from memory. I really love doing this little trick where I pair the business and hobbies patterned wallpaper with a solid color. I think it's really nice, and in this case I've gone with the green, and in the master bedroom we've gone in with the yellow, and I think we go in with a beige color with the yellow, or potentially. I really like that combination. I've been doing it in a couple of my builds. But yeah, just enjoying that content. We are back in the kitchen, and we're doing the overhead cupboards. As I said, we're using pretty much all of the kitchen clutter kit in this particular build because it was new DLC. I really like those storage containers. I love the sink and the little details of the stuff in the sink. This hanging fruit basket actually is really good. I think that it adds a little bit of difference into the kitchen because my kitchens are always pretty same, and it also adds some like height and dimension to the space as well. I really like that. We have gone in with the, what are they called? Modern Luxe Kit curtains. And I really love those chairs. So those dining chairs are from Cats and Dogs. They are my favorite. I've mentioned them before. I love the little cushions with the ties on them and just the style of chair that they are. In the entryway, I've gone in with a buffet, not a buffet table. It is an ottoman with a pillow. I've been doing that a lot as well. I like that. I've seen that in some like houses in real life where the entryway just has like a seat and a cushion. So I've kind of emulated that in The Sims, and I've just kept pretty much the entryways fairly simple because they are small in this particular build. All right, we are into the living room. So I've gone in with Growing Together for the couches, the TV stand, the armchairs, and coffee table is from Business and Hobbies. And we've gone with a very colourful rug. I think we do change that rug. Yeah, just slightly. I like this space. I think that I wanted this couch because I felt it was the best use of the space. It is a little bit more modern, but I think it's a nice couch nonetheless. I do put in a piano just because it's a family home, and I think it's just a nice piece to put in living rooms, also for extra skill building. And yeah, I don't use these lamps quite often, these floor lamps. These are from Eco Lifestyle, but I really liked the texture of it, and the color scheme matched the color scheme I was going for. I have put like a debug pottery item in there. I think that's a vase. I just thought that was a nice clutter piece. I've used those base game runners. I don't use them a lot, but this was a particular space where it kind of made sense. I had a central hallway, so why not? All right, we are into the downstairs bathroom. This is a very simple bathroom. It's, not too much to rave home about. Use a lot of base game in here. I think that sink is from Parenthood. Gone with the Business and Hobbies plant that I really like at the moment. And then just a basic shower, bath. And I think I put some other clutter in here potentially. Yep. Just some of the stuff from the bathroom clutter kit. I don't think I use it. Oh, I use the mat from the Sleek bathroom kit. And just a base game curtain. All right, so on the back porch, we have a chess table and just like a wall piece. I do add this is the front porch. Now we're on the front porch. I've got a basic kind of chair, and I've got some knitting and a easel. Putting in these lights. So these came from Business and Hobbies. These are quite nice little lights. And I think we are moving upstairs. All right. So I think we start with the landing space, or the hallway space, I guess. So I've gone in with a buffet table. I've gone in with a lamp from Businesses and Hobbies. I really like that lamp. And this was just a very simple space. I didn't overly clutter it because it was just a basic hallway. There wasn't a ton of room. All right, we are in the master bedroom. So I've gone in with this base game bed. I don't know what I've done with the wallpaper in here. I guess I changed my mind and didn't go with the yellow. I felt that this kind of love seat from Book Nook. The Book Nook fits really well under the window with there being a ton of lights. I really liked that. I've used my favorite brush and claw clip asset that I've been using in every single build. And yeah, I really like this space. I guess those bedside table lamps that came from the basement treasure kit really paired well with this particular bed because the green is identical, with a little nod of orange. I've added a mirror and some paintings, and I do believe that that's pretty much all we do. I just change around the rug that came with the refined living room kit. I've raved about that rug so many times. I use it quite a lot. All right, so I believe we have a teen girls room and a female child sim. Wow, I'm getting my words mixed up here. I love this space. So I think that bed from high school years, that kind of Art Deco style bed, really set the tone for this particular room. And I think I do make this particular sim maybe a little bit more grungy. We've gone in with a lot of the artwork pieces from a couple of different packs: Strangerville, High School Years, Life and Death, Businesses and Hobbies. And it just kind of really makes for a very kind of, I don't know, like I want to say emo, but I don't want to say emo, kind of dark, grungy space. As I said, with this Love Struck rug, it just pairs so well with that shade of green, the green and the blue and the pink, and it's just like, ugh, the shades of that rug are perfect. And then we go into the final bedroom, which is a child's room, which is a very basic child's room that I would build. It's pink, it's purple, it's fun. Nothing too different to in this particular space. I've gone in with a desk. This is I think it's Growing Together, this bed, with High School Years. I put in some marbles, some crafts. I've gone in with which rug do I use? I think that's like the Laundry Day rug. I really like it. Alrighty, so we are live in game and we are just going around for the tour. So you enter in the entryway, which I think is really beautiful, that little space. It's just minimally decorated. You have your downstairs bathroom. And then back through the hall, you go into the kitchen, which I said uses a lot of the kitchen clutter kit, as that was new DLC at the time. You then head back through the hallway, across the hall into the living room. Just a very simple living room. You do have that sliding door that enters to the outside. So you can either use the sliding door or you can go out by the standard door. You're upstairs into that landing space. Very simple. Into the master bedroom, I have gone in with some green wallpaper. I love that space. Very clean. The upstairs bathroom and that teens room. I think this is a wonderful space. And that child's room, very simple child's room, has everything that you need. All right, we then head outside. You have a chess table, you have seating, you have a grill, you have the pool and some play equipment. I'm just going to add a little bit more dirt under these planter pots and all of these shrubs. I must have missed to do that. It just makes it makes it more realistic that the plants would have dirt under them. It just, yeah. It's not necessary, but I just think it's a nice little touch. And that is the exterior. And a speaker, but it's under an umbrella, so it should work if it's raining. I did mention my concerns about that in a previous build, so yeah. Alrighty, and that is the build today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like what you see, let me know in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.